Bonjour, bonjour, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I'm DMC, I'm an artist based in Atlanta. I do anime, realism, and illustration. If you'd like to check some of my artwork, I'm gonna put down below the link to my social media and my website. So today's video, I'll be talking about Slifer the Sky Dragon on a Dark Magician deck. While I'm talking about it, I'll be having a drawing in the background, just like in the other previous video, which this drawing is Slifer the Sky Dragon with Yami Yugi, or as we know at them. And I'll be listing down below which materials I'll be using for this drawing. So let's get into it. So I know some of you already told me to take Slifer the Sky Dragon out of my deck, but I'm gonna list the reasons why I have him on my deck. First, Slifer the Sky Dragon helps me a lot with my Dark Magician deck. Slifer is not my favorite god card, which some of you already know is Raw, but Raw doesn't help with the engine of the Dark Magician. So the reasons why I have Slifer the Sky Dragons is that it helps you have more cards in hands and it's easier to summon him in the field. Alright, just like every card have a pros and cons, Slifer the Sky Dragon unfortunately have one too. So let's start with the pros. So if it's in the Dark Magician deck, which I play, and you have Dark Magical Circle, you can activate Dark Magical Circle, see your 3 top cards, and if you have the true name, you can name the top card you have seen, you will gain the card you have seen, and you will get a Divine Beast, which is Slifer the Sky Dragon. Now, if you play using Soul Servant, you can place the top card. Let's say Eternal Souls, right? I use Soul Servant, plays Eternal Souls on top, and activates the true name. I will name that is Eternal Souls in the top. I will get Eternal Souls plus a Divine Beast. Now, this card allows you to rather use Special Summon this Slifer the Sky Dragon on the field or have him in the hand. Now, it depends on you if you want to have it in the field, but be aware, if you summon him in the field, he will only last 1 turn, because one of the things about the God cards is that it depends how you summon it. It will be only lasting 1 turn if it's improperly summoned. I would rather have it in the hand so I can have more cards in the hand, and if I need to send something to the grave, I will use it. Another good thing about Slifer the Sky Dragon is that if your opponent summons a normal summons or special summon a monster, it automatically loses 2,000 life points, but if it's reduced to 0, it's automatically destroyed. So that's a really good thing about Slifer the Sky Dragon. The only downfall, which we already know, is that one of the downfalls is that it have to be summoned by tributing 3 monsters, which is a very big lose, because if you already have built your field with 3 monsters and you don't have enough cards in your hand, because that's how Slifer gets his points from how many cards you have in hand, that will be a big lose. Because imagine having 3 monsters of 2,000 life point, let's say, like 3 Dark Magicians, like I run Dark Magician. Imagine having 2,500 monsters in your field, and then you're just tributing these 3 monsters so you can have a Slifer the Sky Dragon. Is just a little pointless. So that's a little like a downfall. And then if you end up having only 2 cards in hand, you only have 2,000 life point, which is what's the point. Now, if you want to go to Verte Anaconda, this card is a really good candidate. Yes, I'm talking about going to Dragoon. So if you're planning going to Dragoon, this card, you can use this card as a material to link summon and summon Verte, and that's where you can go for Verte, tribute, give 2,000 life point, and then go to Red Eyes Fusion, and then from there, Red Eyes Fusion, you gotta summon Dragoon. The way you can summon Slifer the Sky Dragon without you tributing 3 monsters is using Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing allow you to use your opponent's monster, his 3 monsters, so you can summon Slifer the Sky Dragon. So it's a little like a little Nibiru, but not, you know, it's like a low-key little Nibiru, but not. Why? Because you're using your opponent's monster to summon your monster, yet unfortunately Slifer the Sky Dragon will not gain the amount of attack points that your opponent had. So that's why it's like a joke. It's like a laugh in the face of your opponent without you laughing, you know. this is the part, this is my personal opinion. Another bad thing about Slifer the Sky Dragon, I believe, is that how can this card, I know it's a god card, but why do you need to have how many cards I have so you can match the same attack points, which is found it's very hard, you know, from my perspective, because if you're trying to use a quick attack, trying to defend your card, because that's another downfall about Slifer the Sky Dragon, it doesn't have protection to itself. So imagine if I have to Ash Blossom my opponent, how am I gonna keep having like the same amount of cards? So it's rather you keep going on something, letting your opponent, like, it's just make you stall. So I believe Slifer the Sky Dragon is really good on your deck of the Dark Magician. It helps it a lot, but it also have its downfall, unfortunately. Like I mentioned, this card doesn't have protection. So nowadays, how we know, almost all cards have their own protection. They have their own effect. You can banish or send something from your hand to grave, and it will prevent your card to be destroyed. Unfortunately, Slifer the Sky Dragon doesn't have that. So it's something to keep in mind. Whether you risk your cards that you have to make a new play, we can say that, but you need to think about the fact that this card doesn't have protection, so you have to add more stuff to protect Slifer the Sky Dragon if you're planning to play fully with Slifer. Talking about my preference on the Divine Beast, I mentioned I like Raw, but why don't I use Raw on a Dark Magician deck? Well, because simple it is that it doesn't work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. I know Raw is my favorite, but it doesn't work. That's why I have to go with Slifer. Slifer helps a little to boost my deck, but Raw completely will not work. I know there is, I just love the way Raw turns into a phoenix. I've watched the anime. I even love the card, and I know there is a Spheres mode. There is like a little Nibiru as well that you can use tribute your opponent's cards or opponents and monsters to summon the sphere mode Raw, but it doesn't help. It doesn't boost my deck. I know I said that my deck is not the best so far on the tournaments, but if I didn't have Raw, I think I would have not even make it to certain parts. I know I said I have Numeron as well. That's going to be for another video why I'm having Numeron on my deck and da 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 da. But Slifer, it's the one to go, unfortunately. Why don't I like Slifer? It's just, from my perspective, it's just a dragon. It's red. It doesn't have a, I know which name was it before. I think it was Osiris. I'm sorry for the pronunciation, but I know it had a previous name. I think if they would have kept his original name, it would have been more interesting. I would have been a little more interested on Slifer the Sky Dragon, but Raw is just, he looks majestic. I like the whole shine, kind of goldish Raw, we know. And I really love when he was summoned in the anime, like when he was fighting with Joey, he became the Phoenix kind of Raw, you know, Phoenix. That is so cool. So, and then whenever it was Mist summoned and they did the Spheres mode Raw, that was very interesting too, which is like nowadays we know Nibiru is the the way to go, and this is like the previous Nibiru. You know, you can use your opponent's enemies monsters to summon the Sphere mode Raw, and it will still sit there, but you know what I'm trying to say. So this is one of the reasons why I will not use Raw. If I ever have Raw, I will just have it sitting on like my, I think just sitting there in my desk, or having it in a place where to have it a pretty nice looking Raw, but not use it. Definitely not. It also have its pros and cons, just like every god card, unfortunately, like Obelisk the Tormentor, but we'll talk about this guy after. At this point, I think everybody has mixed the Dark Magician deck with something, now that we know that there are gonna be new cards that are gonna support the Dark Magician deck. I believe that's my personal opinion. Don't come for me, but I think the prices for the Dark Magician deck cards are gonna boost a little more, because I believe we'll see more of the Dark Magician set, people playing, duelists playing more of the Dark Magician. But that's my perspective. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. So it's up to see what's gonna happen with this new support cards that are coming out. Still very undecided which new deck I want to build. I want to bond. I want to bond with this deck. I know I get really overly attached with things. I believe my Dark Magician deck is gonna always be my baby. I'm always gonna look at it and just take care of it. But I want to bond with this deck. I'm still debating which one I want to do. For sure, and I'm very sure I don't want to do it, is Shaddolls. I don't want to run a Shaddol. I don't see Shaddol in my hand. I don't see myself playing Shaddolls. I don't see myself playing Mystic Mind. And I don't have nothing against anybody that plays these deck. I know they're very amazing duelists playing, destroying, sending me to the Shadow Realm with these deck. But it's just that I don't see myself playing this broken deck, because I don't know, it's just a personal taste. It is. I know Shaddolls have to do a lot with magic. I love things about like magicians and stuff like that, but it's just, I think I've been overly destroyed with this deck. I've seen this deck everywhere, so I'd rather stay away from the overly rated. And again, whoever is playing it, I'm trying to respect you. I don't have anything against you. It's my personal taste. Ending this video, just like I do in all of my previous video, I'm gonna conclude and put everything together. So Slifer the Sky Dragon is amazing. It has its pros and cons, just like I mentioned on this video, and I believe it helps your deck, right? But still, this deck I feel is not competitive, even if it has Slifer, even if it has Numeron. And I think that's just my personal opinion. I think these decks nowadays are just so powerful. They have so many hand traps, they have so many chains, they keep on going. Like, I had the experience with my Dark Magician deck that I have these hand trap. I even stopped it, trying to draw this duelist, and he kept going, and I tried to do everything I could, but there's no way. Nowadays these decks are just crazy. If you guys have any tips about my deck or which deck I might like, just make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll check it. Thank you very much for sharing and watching my videos. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir, à la prochaine.